Linus, just how hard was it to have to watch? I know you're rooting for your friend and everything all along the way, but just having to watch.
So this is the thing about playing professional sports is one of the hardest things is to be off the side because you want the team to succeed, but you want it to succeed with you as well. So it's definitely one of the hardest things. But I wasn't alone in it. Obviously, there's other guys that wanted to play as well. But I thought that having the support system that I had, and also have the conversation that I had with people around it, I felt that I did what I could, and I did what needed to be done. I tried to carry myself very professionally and support every single one of my fellow teammates throughout this stretch.
Was it particularly difficult?
Hold up.
Oops, sorry.
Given that, what are your thoughts on your future here?
My future here, I got one more year. I'm very excited about what's to come. It's going to be, I'm going to swear, a heck of a summer. I'm very motivated, mixed in with some revenge, obviously, some inspiration as well, but most of all, excitement of what's to come. So, yeah, I felt that obviously everybody thinks about, for me personally, that it was a year that I wasn't as good as I was prior. And for me, though, it's all about personal growth, and I learned a lot about myself in different aspects of the game, and also how I am as a human being.
Was it particularly difficult because you rotated all season, and then when the postseason came, that rotation was gone?
No, I wouldn't say so. It wouldn't have mattered. I think it would have been tougher if I would have played most of the games leading up to the playoff and then be set aside in that sense of way, because then you might feel entitled to play more games. But at this point, we had the rotation, and I had a good conversations with Bob as well, leading into playoffs and during the playoffs as well in the beginning there, where if someone gets an upper hand or you want to roll the hot guy, obviously. I wanted to do the same thing. If I was playing out of my mind and doing everything that I could to stop pucks and I was getting rewarded for it, I don't want to be sat on the side, obviously. So in that sense, I would say yeah, both yes and no. So it's a tricky question, but yeah.
Linus, I apologize. It's an awkward topic, but I always talk about, because you guys have two really good goalies.
Thank you.
And that there are a lot of teams out there that watching the playoffs that could use a really good goalie. That the trade topic comes up with you a lot. Is that something? How much do you pay attention to it? Like, how much do you kind of strategize into who's on your no trade list? Is that a difficult thing for you to kind of navigate?
Oh, you want the juicy stuff.
We all do.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, you gotta catch me a little bit later and do an exclusive if you want to get to part of that. But so it's hard to not hear it, and you can't be isolate yourself, because then you would live in a shed in the woods and you just show up here for pride sometimes. But I mean, I have you guys. You're always going to ask questions. You want to know what's happening, and you're going to ask questions, obviously, to get to the answers that you might want. But I'm not going to give you any good answers other than that. So for that matter, that's also one of the things that was new for me this year. I've never been a part of any trade talks before, so that was a new experience. Was it hard? Yeah, it was hard, because you're very comfortable where you are. You don't want to move when you feel like you're playing well, and you have the team, you have the bonds that you have in the teammates. So with that popping out now, I'm not the only one that has been trade talks, obviously. There was other goaltenders out there in the league as well that there was a lot of rumors with that they might get dealt. And there might not be any opportunities for any of them, and for me, it's above my pay grade as well, really. And I don't have the luxury to choose that. If I could, I'm probably going to say the same thing as everybody else would. I want to stay, and I'm going to stay. But we live in a world where professional sports is, you got to deal with the hand you've been dealt with. And like I said, I have one more year. I wouldn't want anything else than to come back here, get a little bit of a revenge tour. Like I said, I'm very excited, motivated for what's to come, especially now. To be a father, at first. That's what my goal is, to catch up on what the kiddos are doing and attend soccer practices and enjoy life a little bit with them, because it's very hectical during the playoffs, and they get lost a little bit, obviously, during that time.
Linus, I would think the desire to stay would be all the greater when you've lived the scenario you did. You leave Buffalo, you really get your claws into the career here, you win the Vezina, right? You become everything you want it to be. Yes, the desire to stay because of that is greater.
I would say it's more on the personal side, that we felt that ever since we came to Boston, we've been embraced by not only the city and but the team and the people that works throughout the organization. Like, everybody has been so nice and very caring, lovable, and we felt that ever since our day one. And that makes you feel at home, and that makes you want to stay there. And when you have that good thing behind you, you don't want to move just because you have to move or something. You want to stay, and that's just how it comes down to. It doesn't really matter how it goes on the ice. If you're feeling that your life is taken care of off the side, and that your family's well and they're thriving and they're enjoying their time in school and with their friends and whatever, you don't want to uproot them just because. I think that goes to anyone that has kids and families, that it doesn't matter what kind of a job you have. If you feel that, I'm very comfortable, I like it here, you don't really want to move at that point.
Is that something people don't understand when these conversations happen? People outside, that it's more than a where you're playing goalie question?
Yeah, and people just think that it's just about playing goal, and it should be easy and move and get a contract somewhere else or whatever. It's not easy. We play every single year and trying to prove ourselves and trying to get that contract, and it's you can't take anything for granted in this league. It goes really quick. I mean, playoffs is just an example of it. One day you feel like king of the world, and you might be up 3-1 or 3-0, and then all of a sudden it's 3-3 and you're game 7 at your hands. So it goes around quick, and you have to enjoy it. But I wish that a lot more people would see beyond, just the professional side of it, and see, that we have our family to take care of as well off the side, and have to think about the decisions that we make with them as well.
I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it sounds like, would you exercise your trade protection once again this summer because you like it here so much?
I have my list, and my list is there. We've worked very hard for it. There's a reason for why it's there, and that's something that the players before me worked really hard to get to a point like we have that luxury. And there's a reason why it's there, and there's a reason why certain teams are on there, and there might be personal things, but that's up to each and every player to have. And what it comes from my personal things, that's something for me, my family, and my agent to deal with and take care of. And I don't have any obligations to share the reasonings or the reasons that I have certain teams on that list.
Jeremy said you were very supportive during this. How do you balance sort of the support for a close friend and teammate while balancing that with some maybe personal disappointment?
It's hard in a way of that you have to think about the greater good. So, it's very tough in the sense of way that you want your team, like I said before, you want your team to succeed. You want to be successful and you want the other guys to play well, because that means you're winning games. And I've said this many times before when it comes to these sort of things, when it comes to me and Sway, that we're always going to have each other's backs and support each other, because that means if he's playing well, the team's playing well, we have a good opportunity to win. And you want to win the last game of the season every year. You're not going to be able to do it, obviously, and to balance that also with personal feelings, you kind of have to deal with those off the ice, and that's what it means being a professional, that once we actually step into the rink, would it be on an away game or at home games or whatever, you have to stay professional. You have to put your pride aside and think about what's better for the team at now. And for me, that was to push during practices, be verbally there, talk to people, give each other some, heads ups, or push them to become better, and maybe catch them when they're falling down or anything like that. And I'm hoping that once this season has really been put in the put in the back of our minds, that people will feel that he did whatever he could from the position that he was put in.
Is that when you're saying that? Is that when you're saying you learned some personal things about yourself? Is that part of the personal growth you're talking about? Just how to compartmentalize those two sides of you that are competitive but supportive?
Yeah, because it's very different once you actually, like, when you have a very clear role that you're the backup or you're the starter, you play that role to your, as best as you can. But, once we're going through playing 50-50 games and you don't really have like a clear one starter, and then you go from that to a starter, then it's like, okay, what's happening? And it takes a while for you to realize what's going on. And then you're still thinking that I'm going to get the next one. And then because it's just been it's deeply ingrained throughout the season that I'm going to get the next one. And it doesn't matter if it's a win or loss. Like, I was always trying to feel like I'm going to get the next one. And for me, that have been a two-edged sword. So I was thinking I'm going to get the next one, and I didn't. Now I was all the way up here being really excited about going on and play Toronto, and I'm not. And then I go down and I'll be pissed off or sad, like, shit, I'm about to swear again, but I'm not going to do that. But bummed out.
Yeah.
And then you go up and down and up and down and up and down. And then you have the logical side of the brain where it feels like, oh, well, there's a reason for why he's playing. And the reasoning was that he's playing really good hockey. I really want to swear again. I feel like I'm on a roll here. I can do it, yeah.
We can
yeah.
bleep it out.
Yeah, no, you don't need to bleep it out because I'm not going to do it. But Sway was playing tremendous hockey. That's what he was doing. And I have to think about myself that one of the reasons why I was not playing was because he was playing so good, and not take anything away from my own personal pride or confidence in myself. And instead of, it would have been worse probably if he was just okay and I still wasn't playing, then probably I would felt like I was, a really shitty goaltender. But now he was putting on a heck of a performance, and that was the only reasoning, basically why I wasn't playing any more games, because, he was probably the best goaltender in these Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yes. And they explained that to you too, right?
Yeah, we had the conversation throughout the whole thing, and that's one of the things that I really appreciate whenever we have the time or feel like we have an opportunity to talk to coaches, we can, because it's a very high ceiling, and we have that camaraderie and the trust of each other.
Linus, not to